Billy Luna.
I am sure that everyone has now seen the poster that is floating around on social media for a new Sopranos TV series. The poster, as you see right here, it says a new show is coming out called Soprano, starring Michael Gandolfini. That's Jim Gandolfini's son. And it says it's a Max original. Max is how we refer to HBO now. And it says that it's coming in January 2025. Listen, I just got off the phone with a close contact that I have at HBO. So stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to detail the conversation that I had with my contact at HBO. She's a very high-level creative executive, and she told me the truth about what is going on with this project.
Please subscribe to the Billy Luna channel and like the video. Thank you.
I woke up this morning and I had about 40 or 50 messages, and they were saying, what is the deal with this poster floating around social media? It's a teaser poster. It's got, Michael Gandolfini on it. It says there's a new series coming called Soprano. You've got Michael Gandolfini, and he is standing in front of the New York City skyline. However, it's got the World Trade Center in the background, so the Twin Towers. We know that this must be before 9/11. Obviously, a new Sopranos series would bring a lot of excitement. The Sopranos, the original Sopranos series, was the greatest show in television history, in my humble opinion. The series ran for 86 episodes that spread across 6 seasons, spanning from 1999 to 2007. Then, of course, in 2001, there was a movie, which was some will call a prequel, called The Many Saints of Newark, and explored Tony Soprano's younger years with James Gandolfini, who played Tony Soprano's son, Michael Gandolfini, playing the role of young Tony Soprano. Now, this came out in 2021, and in my opinion, this movie was terrible. I mean, absolute garbage. I was anticipating it. I was very, very stoked for it. I was really eagerly anticipating it, and I was very disappointed by this. Now, this is the way I look at the Sopranos series. I believe that The Sopranos television series was the greatest show in television history. Now, I will tell you, we'll get into more of this later, and I'm also going to make a lot more videos about this topic and things with The Sopranos. I do think that the ending was terrible. It was not good because it was just, I understand an ambiguous ending, but I look at my second favorite show is the show The Shield with Michael Chiklis. That is an amazing ending. I'm not a fan of the ending of the Sopranos television series, and I'm definitely not a fan of the prequel movie, The Many Saints of Newark. That came out in 2021. Now, David Chase has said that HBO forced him to put a Sopranos movie on that. He didn't really want to have that movie, The Many Saints of Newark, called a Sopranos movie, and that it was just supposed to be just a separate piece about Dickie Moltisanti. However, I really didn't like it. There's a lot of reasons that I didn't like that movie, the prequel. It just first of all, it didn't have a lot of great organized crime stuff. I mean, there was, I think the movie was about an hour in before we saw anything kind of mafia related. I mean, there was some really good acting in it. The way that I thought about that movie before it came out was that I thought that Michael Gandolfini, playing young Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini's son in real life, I thought that he was going to be not good because he's not an actor. And I thought that the movie itself was going to be good. As it turned out, I actually thought he was pretty good. I thought his performance was decent, and he wasn't too big with it, because I think, to go over the top and do a caricature of that character would have been a mistake. And I thought he was subtle and he was good. However, I really disliked the movie as a whole. There was a lot of good acting in the movie, but overall it wasn't good. For instance, like in the Sopranos series, there was various sequences where we would go back in time, and there you saw young Tony Soprano, you saw young Tony's father, Johnny Soprano, you saw young Junior Soprano, you saw, Tony's older sister, young, and that was really well done in the series. But I just thought The Many Saints of Newark, I really disliked it. But anyway, back to this poster. So, David Chase has talked about various things, and a lot of this stuff, we really read a lot into all of this. What really happened? Did Tony Soprano die? But what we are is we're very hungry for more of the real Sopranos. I think that the Many Saints of Newark kind of left a bitter taste in some people's mouths, including mine. But, so what we really want to see, what do we really want to see from The Sopranos? I think what we're hungry for is, sure, we want to see Tony Soprano's first hit. We want to see Tony Soprano get made. So this poster seems extremely compelling because look at this. This would be that story. And it would also take place in an era. It would be presumably take place in the 70s. So this would have like almost, The Sopranos is to me like almost like a 6-season Scorsese movie in some senses. And this would take us to the era of the classic Scorsese mafia movies like Goodfellas, Mean Streets. This would be that era. And that's the golden era, right? That's what we really love, the golden era of the mob. So this is very, very compelling. Now, could Michael Gandolfini, he was not, I don't believe he acted at all before The Many Saints of Newark. Could he pull off a performance as a lead in a TV show like this? I don't know. I don't think that The Sopranos would have ever been The Sopranos if it wasn't for James Gandolfini. And I'm going to do more videos about this, but I am going to put forth my opinion here. And that is that the question is, who do you think is the best actor in any mafia related TV series or movie out of all of them? And my answer to you, in my opinion, is James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano. I mean, you think of so many great performances in various movies. You think about De Niro, you think about Joe Pesci, you think about so many different people, Al Pacino, Marlon Brando. You've got but the thing about Gandolfini's performance is it was so damn good. It was so on time. Plus, it was just over the course of so many episodes and so many stories and so many arcs. I've got to hand the prize to Jimmy Gandolfini. I mean, he was great, and he was taken from us way, way too young at the age of 51. So sad. Rest in peace, Jimmy Gandolfini. Back to this poster, all right? This poster is blown up on social media very quickly in about 24 hours. And so this would be the story of young Tony Soprano. This is what we want. But is it real? Is it real? In this age of so many hoaxes, we basically live in this post-truth era. Is this real? Now, some people have said, in terms of the ending of The Sopranos, was Tony Soprano killed? I think most people think that he was killed, and I think there's a million theories that swirl around about this. Now, David Chase, people think that he said that Tony was killed. However, in the podcast Talking Sopranos, Chase says his words were misinterpreted, and he's listened to the various sources that say that he said that Tony died. And David Chase says that that's not true. He did not maintain that Tony Soprano was killed in the series. Whatever the case, Warner Brothers was very eager to capitalize on the franchise's lasting popularity. Apparently, they once approached David Chase to develop a new Sopranos project. This proposed series would have taken place after the events of The Many Saints of Newark and explored Tony's younger years, with Michael Gandolfini reprising the role. That's true. Chase discussed this with The Hollywood Reporter in 2021, revealing Warner Brothers' enthusiasm for more Sopranos content. And this is what Chase said, quote, "Well, of course the movie didn't do well in theaters, but it broke the machine on streaming. It was huge. So now they want me to do another series of Sopranos from the time the movie ends until the time the series begins." Chase, however, had different ideas. Quote, "No, I wouldn't do one more movie because I have an idea for what I'd like to do, but I don't think they want that." The Sopranos continues to enjoy a robust legacy, with fans rewatching it and new viewers discovering the series all the time. It's no wonder Warner Brothers wants to leverage that enduring success. Now, that's what big companies do. I mean, look what Disney is doing right now with Star Wars. If you purchase or you own that kind of property, a big corporation is going to just want to beat that to death and just, no pun intended, but just crank out show after show and movie after movie. And then it just gets kind of terrible after a while. And of course, that's what Warner Brothers is probably going to want to do. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a major breakdown about what really happened with the ending of The Sopranos. And that's something you've got to stay tuned for. and that's coming, and a bunch of other Soprano stuff. I mean, it's my favorite series. It's great. My second favorite series is The Shield, starring Michael Chiklis. Now, thing about The Shield, I used to kind of think The Shield was my favorite, and I went back and forth with it. But I've watched the Sopranos series probably a ridiculous amount of time. I have watched the entire series of The Sopranos probably 6 times, and I now kind of put that as my number 1 series in television history. The Shield slipped to number 2. Now, what I will say about The Shield is the ending of The Shield was perfect. They stuck the landing, and that's very important. And even though I was not a fan of the way that David Chase ended The Sopranos, I still have to give it the crown of the greatest show in television history. So anyway, let me tell you, as I mentioned, I woke up, I had 45 messages about people saying, Billy, what's going on with this? And I called my contact at HBO. She's a creative executive, very high up. And this is what she told me. Billy, this is bullshit. This poster is fake. And I mean, we kind of knew that, even though we want to believe it, we want to see something like that. Although, I don't know, I'm not sure. She told me, she dispelled this. Okay. So I'm telling you conclusively, this is bullshit. It's not happening. There's no Max original coming in January 2025, starring Michael Gandolfini, called Soprano. And that is, at this point, it is not coming. So the future, who knows? But let me know what you all think in the comments about this. Let me know what you want to see, and let me know what you think about this hoax, because this poster is a social media hoax.
Billy Luna. Please subscribe to the Billy Luna channel and like the video. Thank you.